Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I know I haven't done this in a really long time, and this was supposed to be a thing on this channel, but this is going to be another Fashion Friday video, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight one accessory. It's going to be an accessory or an item of clothing, something like that, something that basically pairs along with a fragrance. I'm going to highlight that, talk about that a little bit, and I'm going to talk about 7 fragrances, kind of 7, there's a couple honorable mentions, that I would pair this particular item with. I'm gonna link everything down below, and I like to do 7, but some things, if it's like 2 from the same brand, you're gonna get a little twofer on that. And there's one that I think is discontinued, so that has to be an honorable mention. I'll talk about a new brand that reached out to me, and I checked out their site and I actually really like their products. It's gonna be Teddy Blake. These are these Italian leather premium bags made in Italy, and they have a lot of different styles because I would say with bags I'm a little bit more picky because I like a bag that's fashionable, obviously Fashion Fridays, but it has to be really functional too. These are also luxury bags. The price is really good for a luxury bag company. So the bag, so I went ahead and chose a bag from this company. The bag that I chose is the Vanessa 14-inch in cognac, and here is how it looks like in all its glory. For me, this is a very functional bag, okay? So as you can tell, it's pretty big. I like to be able to have my tablet in it. I have a pretty big tablet. And I have to be able to rock all of my stuff in it. So I need it to hold all of my electronics. I need it to hold a notepad. I usually write a bunch of stuff throughout the day. Usually a charger, maybe a battery pack. It needs to hold a lot of stuff, including sometimes a decant if I'm wearing a lighter fragrance. Comes in this really cute dust bag. There it is. And it comes in a really nice box. They did really well with the packaging. I would say they're really affordable for what they are selling. I'm going to link all of that down below. Again, it's Teddy Blake luxury Italian leather bags made in Italy. So I got this bag super quick after I placed the order for it. I really like the bag. I like the design and I like the usability of it. And I like the colors that it came in. That was one of my favorite things. The bag colors that I typically lean towards are camel and cognac, and they had a lot of different options in both of those. Black as well, and they actually had a lot of black with cognac. So when I go two-tone, those are the 2 colors that I like to add together. So check them out. I'm gonna link them down below. And right now, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about 7 plus a couple bonus fragrances that I would pair with this bag. These are for when I'm doing boss things, but they're also really classy fragrances because I find like the bag is also pretty classy. So classy, boss vibes, fragrances. Most of these are feminine leaning. I think a few of them are also unisex. I'll talk about that during because I told you guys that I would, because sometimes I forget to mention that because skin chemistry is going to change that stuff on your skin. So here we go. Let's get into your bonus fragrance from the house of Lancome. It's going to be Lancome Santal Cardamom. I'm not going to talk much about this fragrance because that's such a tease. This is discontinued. But sandalwood and cardamom and a really prominent orange blossom note. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I like all those notes, but I didn't blind buy this. I tried this in New York. I don't really know why they still have it because it's pretty much impossible to find these days. If I find it, I'm going to link it down below. But that's why it's the bonus, and that's why I'm not going to talk about it much because that's not really fair. Next. Okay, so this fragrance I bought for my sister, and I bought the small one for me, the 1 ounce for me and the 3.4 for her. She loves it, but she does have an allergy to it, so I inherited the 3.4, and I ended up giving the 1 ounce to a friend of mine because it's a really good, really classic fragrance. It's going to be Mon Guerlain EDT. To me, this is such a classy fragrance, but it also gives boss vibes. It's super fruity, floral, powdery, but the classic nature of this is where the boss vibes come from. Also, I like the powderiness in this, and I don't like all the powdery fragrances that are marketed to women. Sometimes they go a little overboard. For me, This is really nice. Does it lean a little baby powdery? Yes. But I really like it, the way that they use it in here. I mean, it's a classic fragrance, Mongrelon EDT. I've never done a video on this, but I don't think I need to because I'm pretty sure everybody else has. Next. All right, so I have done a video on this because this is a video, the fragrance I'm not gonna talk about much because I've already talked about it in length. And if you haven't seen it on Instagram or YouTube, check out both of those reviews. From the House of Memo, it's Memo Marfa. This is a gorgeous tuberose fragrance. I feel like this fragrance does things different. It has a touch of this like herbal nature that changes the fragrance for me. The way that this fragrance heats up, it's not necessarily meant for the heat, but the way it heats up is amazing. The reason I ended up buying this is because shout out to Tammy Loves Fragrances. Sent me home with a decant. I wore it with a friend when we were working out, and the way it heated up on my skin was so incredible that I immediately, before I even finished the workout, bought a bottle. So that is how much I love this fragrance, but this fragrance is also super classy and massive boss vibes. At least that's what I get next. Let's do this one because I think it's really obvious. From the House of Tom Ford, it's going to be Tom Ford Black Orchid Parfum. Any black orchid can go in this, by the way. And this one is pretty unisex. Because we're going into the fall, though, I would probably personally gravitate towards the Parfum versus the EDP. The EDP is a little richer to me. I know it sounds the opposite, but the EDP is really bold as well. Going into fall, though, this is the one I'm going to reach for. If it's not dead winter, I'm usually going to reach for this or Orchid Soleil. Orchid Soleil is my favorite for the summer and spring. That one is very, very discontinued though, so I don't mention it that much on this channel. But if you can get it, you should get it. This is really nice though. I didn't care for it as much when I got it because it has a lot of similarities to Black Orchid, and I like the bold nature of Black Orchid. However, it is not as wearable as this one. And this one still has the boss vibes, and it's still ultra classy. I've done a video on this. Check it out next. A video on one of these. I will do a video on the other one if you guys want me to. They're from the House of Jesus del Pozo. It's going to be Vanilla Musk Nights and Gold Tuberose Nights in these super sexy bottles. Vanilla Musk Nights is this like really nice fragrance that like I feel like I would rock in a cashmere sweater because it's that classy. It is that classy. Like every time I smell it, I remember it again. Obviously you have vanilla, you have this really nice jasmine in here. It is gorgeous. I think there's an almond in here as well. It's really, really good. I remember I reached for this a lot when I got it, and it's like I forgot all about it, but you have total boss vibes in this, and it's ultra classy. But this one is newer, and I will do a video on it if you guys want. Gold Tuberose Nights. I got it because of the tuberose. There is a coconut note. It is not a prominent one. I feel like I should tell you guys that ahead of time. The tuberose is, I feel like it's more of an indolic tuberose. That's what makes this super boss lady vibe. Totally goes with the bag. The bag screams boss. This fragrance screams boss. Both of them do. But I think because of the nature of the tuberose in this, sometimes this one goes a little bit harder. This can have a little bit more softness to it in comparison. If you guys haven't checked out actual Jesus del Pozo, not just the Halloween Man line or the Halloween line, these are incredible. I have these. I have the square bottles. All of the ones that I've tried, I absolutely love. My favorite leather fragrance is Dark Saffron Nights. I know it says saffron. It is a leather fragrance. It is gorgeous. It is dark. It is sexy. It is a perfect nighttime fragrance. Check out Jesus del Pozo. All of them have boss vibes, and I mean all of them. Next. I feel like if we're talking about classy and boss vibes, obviously there needs to be some sort of rose oud combo. From the House of Tiziano and Terenzi, it's going to be Gold Rose Oud. This is another unisex one with a jammy rose. This one I wore to work one time, and my buddy was like, oh my god, whatever that is, you need to put that in the rotation more. And I feel like I will always remember him by that. And now that I'm smelling it, you know, it's interesting. The deeper I get into this game, the more the rose oud thing is starting to grow on me. At the beginning, when I bought this even, I did not care for it. But smelling it right now, I'm like, oh, this is really gorgeous. My mom really likes stuff like this. My mom, I come from Egyptian descent. So they do kind of like the jammier stuff, but it's... Anytime my mom likes something, I'm very impressed by it. This was a couple years ago when she smelled it and said she liked it, but yeah, it's definitely classy, definitely boss vibes. If you haven't checked this one out, I think it's one of the least expensive ones from the house. I found it for such a steal, full presentation, like maybe around $85, maybe less, for a niche fragrance with this nice gold bottle with this big old cap. That's really good. I've reviewed this. Check it out next. All right, so this is going to be the last one that I've reviewed already from the house of Rasasi. It's going to be Rasasi Kasamet Morhaf. This is a beautiful, beautiful rose fragrance. It's got some jamminess to it. It's got some sweetness to it. The quality of this for the $65 or less that you can get it for is so insane. I think it's a 65 mil. I think I'll try to link all of these down below. And when I link them, I link at the best price that I could find when I looked it up. This one you can probably get for around $50 though, because there's usually a coupon available. This is so good. I can't stop smelling it. I think it's supposed to be a clone of some Xerjoff fragrance. I can't remember. I don't know if it's More Than Words. I only have a few Xerjoffs. Actually, the next one on this list is Xerjoff, but I've done the review of this. It is such a beautiful fragrance. If you have not smelled it, honestly, if you like rose fragrances, it's a little bit jammy. It's sweet. It's a really beautiful fragrance. It has a touch of powderiness. Give it a shot. Next. All right, so this one I bought in a 2-pack, and this is the one that I didn't realize I was going to like as much, but I liked it more than the other one that had notes that screamed out to me a little bit heavier. From the House of Xerjoff, it's Xerjoff from the Spray to Help collection, Save Me. So these are, the proceeds from them go to save national wildlife, which I thought was a really cool concept because I got another one, 1986, that is for cancer research. This one is such a beautiful floral fragrance, and it has a tuberose note in here. And I think it has like this mimosa flower. Something about this triggers like a scent memory from childhood, and I can't stop smelling it. It is ultra classy, and it's ultra boss vibes. And yeah, this is unisex. I will say this though, it does lean feminine. But I have a guy friend that rocks florals a lot better than I do. And I don't think I rock them poorly or anything. His skin pulls floral notes, makes them really nice, and doesn't actually make them feminine, which is really interesting to me. So I would say if you can pull off floral notes really well and you're a guy, I wouldn't hesitate, especially because this is like such a good cause. Save Me from the Spray to Help collection from Xerjoff. And honestly, these were really, the price was really good. I can't stop smelling this one, but again, super classy. I love everything about this one. Next. All right, so this is my newest one. Haven't done the video on it. Best bottle out of all of them, even though there were some pretty good bottles. From the House of Argos. It's Argos Pour Femme. Let me slowly tell you a little bit about the notes in here. So you have violet bergamot, ginger, lemon, orange blossom, iris cloves, pink pepper, jasmine, lily of the valley rose, sandalwood, amber, white musk, vanilla bean, ylang ylang. Okay, so this has hardcore classy vibes to it. It is a really beautiful floral. It has like this really rich vibe to it as well. I would say versatile year round. I don't want to ruin it because I'm going to do a full video on it because I have worn it a lot recently. I did take a decant of it with me on vacation as well, so it got a pretty solid amount of wear. Super classy. I mean, the bottle screams it. All their bottles scream it. Honestly, bang for buck, especially with this presentation, incredible. But it smells really, really good. When I wore it, I was texting my buddy. I was like, yeah, this feels like a man could rock it too, even though it says Pour Femme. He was like, oh yeah, no, I do rock it. And it smells good on me. So I think you could rock it if you're a guy. I would definitely say sample it first. It just has really classy, real boss vibes to it. I feel like it commands attention, but it's also really pretty. So I still feel really pretty when I wear it. And I feel like all of these, I get that same thing with it. I like to have that vibe going on with boss vibes and that air of class. They're playful, but they're not as playful. That classiness to it, that's what I like. That classiness is kind of what makes it kind of have boss vibes. This has that, it's ultra classy. It doesn't have that super sweetness to it. It is a sweet fragrance. It's just not a super sweet fragrance. It's more of a floral fragrance than anything else. That's why this, for me, completed the list. This is 7 plus some, well, plus 2 fragrances that I feel are classy. Something that I could rock with the Vanessa bag in Cognac from Teddy Blake. There we go. Again, in all its glory, that I can put all my work stuff in and it fits. Fashionable, functional, as are these fragrances. Also fashionable, functional. If you guys have tried the House of Teddy Blake, comment down below. Or if you've tried any of these fragrances, because some of these are a little bit better known, but I don't feel like all of these are talked about. In fact, most of these aren't talked about. There's maybe Black Orchid, or yeah, Black Orchid and Mongrelon are the ones that are talked about. Maybe Marfa, but I feel like it had its time and it's not talked about as much anymore, even though it still smells just as good. Comment down below. Let me know your experience with those. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like this video if you liked it. Be subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop a new video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.